What's good, YouTube? It's your man, Mo, back for another video. And today, man, I got y'all with another banger video. Today is not a cop video. Today is a courtroom video. I was just watching part one, and I was like, you know what? Let me just. Obviously, I'm not gonna watch the whole 37-minute. I mean, I might. But this is. I mean, as long as my camera let me. But this is ridiculous. Apparently, this dude here signed a 61-year lease for a house and paid in advance at least 12 years towards that 61-year lease. And he was planning, says he was planning to live in that lease, live in that house for the full entire 61-year lease. This is part two. I mean, if y'all want to see part one or you want to see, just look it up. Tenant tries to fight for 6 minutes, whatever. I don't know, but we're just gonna get right into it.
We got a land contract. We find one.
I did, Judge, and we sent that over to the court, so you should have a copy of it there.
Okay.
It's paragraphs G and H of that land contract. I addressed the issue, plus I submitted a memorandum of law. And the law is real clear that Mr. Miller really has no legal claim.
Okay. So, yep. Let me just actually Oh, here's your memorandum. And you said the land contract's in here someplace too?
Yes, we sent that over, Judge.
Okay. Let's look if I can find it.
Who's the guy in the
I would
back?
advise the court to Mr.
There's a guy in the back here.
Miller dropped off some tax returns to our office yesterday. We asked for his email and he said, just mail it. So we overnighted some stuff to him. I don't know if he got it yet or not, but
Hey, Mr. Miller, why don't you unmute as well there for me, just so I got you on.
Your Honor, if I may?
Hold on just a minute. Let me just kind of see what I've got here.
Yes, sir.
Got the trust. Assignment of land. Seller's interest in land contract. Browser. Oh, looks like I've got. Oh, here it. This is it. I was gonna say the only thing I don't have is the land contract, but I might have it here. I think this is it. It's tax documents.
I can have it sent over again, Judge.
Yeah, boy, you've been good enough to send everything else over here. I got. Gotta be in here. What was it attached to? I've got an assignment of seller's interest in land contract. I do have that.
Yeah, the actual land contract, we managed to find that and we did send that over.
Okay.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
If you want to, rather than me trying to, if you can just email that part of it over to me.
Yes, if you'll excuse me, I'll go have my.
Sure, and it's good. Just do it to Janet again. J. Dries. Yeah.
The original? I don't think he sent it to me.
No, but I'm having him do it.
Delicious session.
You know what, Mr. May? I just found it.
Yeah, Jack, you just found it.
Yeah.
Jack. Yeah, he just found it. Oh, never mind, Tammy, they found it.
Sorry. Yep. Mr. Belzer, I did find it. It was underneath the other. I guess let's just start from square one again. We'll start completely over. I do have the documentation. Mr. Belzer, Mr. Miller, I kind of cut you off. What did you want to tell me before we start? Was there something before we start?
Your Honor, I would like to ask the court if I could move to dismiss this matter on the basis I was never provided a notice to quit. I have some support I would like to offer for my motion. A notice to quit is required in most circumstances with a few exceptions. One, after forcible entry. Your Honor, I came under color of title pursuant to the lease.
We're up to that part yet. Let's just see how the land contract part goes in first. You know, they're suggesting they have a land contract to the property. That's what they're saying.
Well, as they
I mean, that's fine if you have a land contract to the property. You own the land that the house is built on, right? I think that's what a land contract is. Let's double check, right? A land contract is a legal agreement where a seller finances the purchase of real estate from a buyer, allowing the buyer to make installment payments over time while the seller retains the property so the full purchase price is paid, at which point title is transferred to the buyer. Essentially, it's a form of seller financing that being a traditional bank. Okay, so yeah, basically, so you have a mortgage on you essentially own the property. You're making payments, whatever. They're saying they have a land contract for the property in which he stays, but he's saying that he gave the property to his son for his son to live on. He's saying that the son rented was renting the house out, and he got into a 61-year lease with the son, paid money in advance, and he's saying no, my son wouldn't do something that's stupid. That's all that he's arguing.
is there anywhere on there that there is a encumberment on the property?
There's what?
A encumberment on the land contract?
An encumberment? Encumberment? Is that what you're
Yes,
talking about?
yes, sir. Yes, sir, Your Honor.
But we haven't got to that point yet. Let's just kind of go through, Mr. Bowser, let's just go through like we would a normal hearing again, because now that I got all these documents, let's just do it, okay?
Let's see. Let's see how this goes.
Do you have a witness here? Why don't you go ahead and,
Okay, I'll have Mr. May, who was previously sworn.
okay, yep, we'll just, Mr. May, why don't you raise your right hand there? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give me the truth?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Bowser, if you could just kind of lay all the facts out for me, and we'll do it.
State your name for the record, please.
Jack Douglas May.
And Mr. May, you you own this particular piece of property at one point in time personally, is that correct?
I've owned it since either through my corporation or
No,
myself.
my question is, you owned it personally at one point, or did who owned it first when you bought it?
Corporation, the
So
corporation
your
owned it first.
corporation owned it, you subsequently transferred it to a trust that you have,
Yes, it did, Jay.
and it came to pass that you did a land contract with your son Brian, is that correct?
Yeah, the corporation.
Okay, fantastic. So he owns the land. This is the dad. So the dad owns the land. The dad had a land contract with the son for his son to live on the property. So the son was paying the dad money. Like we read with the definition, the son was paying the dad money towards the mortgage, the seller finance for the house that the dad owned, either through the trust or through the corporation, one of the two. He's saying that within the land contract, the son legally had no right to rent that house to somebody else. He couldn't sublease the house. He's saying, well, that's your problem because your son leased it to me and I paid in advance. So if he has to leave, they have to give him his money back.
Corporation did the land contract and I assumed it.
What?
Did the land.
You're
Let's go
missing
back,
out
let's go
on
back.
game.
Let's go back because he's saying something and I don't want to miss nothing. I don't know if my camera battery gonna last the entire time, but we gonna rock
That you
out.
did a land contract with your son Brian, is that correct?
Yeah, the corporation did the land contract and I assumed it.
The corporation did the land contract with Brian, is what you're saying,
Yeah,
correct?
that's right.
And then subsequently, the corporation conveyed this property to your trust, and the trust now owns that deed to that property, correct?
Correct.
And on that land contract, we've provided the court a copy of that, and that's the land contract that you entered into with your son Brian, correct?
Correct.
And he failed to make payments on that contract, is that correct?
you know, he's never made a payment, which I didn't enforce that, but okay, yes. No,
Okay,
never made a payment.
and so subsequently, in lieu of court proceedings, your son Brian signed a deed giving that property back to you, is that correct?
That's correct.
And at the current time, you have the deed to the property. The land contract has been extinguished by virtue of the last quitclaim deed from Brian, is that correct?
That's correct,
And your son Brian's here also to testify if need be, correct?
right? That's correct.
And you had no dealings yourself with Mr. May or Mr. Miller. You didn't enter a contract with him. You didn't enter a landlord-tenant arrangement with him, nothing, correct?
That would be irrelevant. Whether this specific guy entered the lease would be irrelevant. You had a land contract with someone who happened to be your son. Your son never made any payments that you did not enforce. And during that time, your son got into a leasing contract with somebody else who so far has provided evidence of a receipt for a lease and a payment in advance for at least 12 years and a leasing contract for 61 years. So far they haven't done anything to prove that he doesn't have a right to stay in the house.
I had no dealings at all, no.
Judge, and that's a testimony I need from Mr. May, from Jack May. And the land contract is in fact with the court as well as the deeds that show the transfers back.
Did you have, yep, and I've got the assignment. I assume what you're talking about, Mr. Belzer, is the assignment of the seller's interest in the land contract?
Yes, yes.
And do you have that? And that's dated this, boy, 31st day of December 2005. Is that right?
Right, that's when it went from the corporation to the trust. Is that?
That's correct,
Yes.
yeah. The
Okay.
end of the year.
That's not important. That's not the part that's important. The part that's important is when did the land contract end? When did it begin and when did it end? That's what's important. And when did his lease start? Like when did they sign this black guy's lease, Mr. Miller's lease? Those are the two dates that are important. Whenever this fat motherfucker sent the house from his under the rights of his corporation to under the rights of the trust does not matter.
Into the trust. So that's that date. So we got December 1st, 05. And then the land contract we had. In the land contract that was in effect, I'm sorry, you started, Mr. Belzer, with regard to the, actually, we probably should have these submitted as well, as long as we're doing this properly. Are you asking me to review the land contract, the assignment that we just discussed, and the quitclaim deed that was just testified to?
Yes, Judge. The land contract was dated July 27th of 06.
Okay.
And then the quitclaim deed that deeded it back after that forfeiture of the land contract is dated February of 15. No, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
I didn't deed it until later. I missed on doing that.
So I've got I guess, Mr. May, for my benefit, all these documents, the land contract that you just testified to has your signature on it. Yeah, May Homes and Realty by Jack D. May, and that's your signature that's on that too, that's dated?
Yes.
Okay. And then on the quitclaim deed that's dated February 10th, 2015, that's also your signature, Jack D. May, quitclaim it over?
Yes, it is, yes.
The trust? Okay.
What does that have to do with
And Judge, then,
if he
if I may, there's
signed
also
a
the
lease?
deed from Brian. Satisfaction of the land contract that's dated August 14th of 2024.
Oh, and I did see that too, August 14, 2020. Let's see that, there it is, I believe. Mr. Belzer, I guess if we've got other testimony, do you have other testimony right now, Steph?
Well, not at this point. I mean, if Mr. Miller wants to raise this $144,000 question, I have Mr. Brian May here to testify that that never happened.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so Mr. Miller, are you gonna testify?
Your Honor, Michigan law 554.134 requires a notice to be served on a tenant. Proper notice is conditioned precedent to a summary proceedings action, Park Forest of Blackman versus Smith 112, Michigan. Park Forest held that the landlord's failure to comply with the notice requirements of the state deprived the district court of jurisdiction to hear the case. As a result, I am entitled to due process, which requires a proper notice to quit be served. And without proper notice, the court lacks jurisdiction and this case should be dismissed.
So the only thing that you're arguing, Mr. Miller, is that there's this lease agreement?
He essentially what he's trying to say is that the the judge can't even make a decision on the case due to the fact that these fuckers are never gave him any documentation or any paperwork to say that he was being evicted, because he's in the house, he's staying in the house, he's saying that he has a lease, he's saying that he has um a receipt of a payment, he's saying these things, and he's saying that these fat fuckers never gave him an eviction notice, basically. So he's saying without that eviction notice, per whatever state they live in, this judge can't make a decision or a judgment on him getting evicted because he never got an eviction notice.
Is that right?
Your Honor, I have a valid lease agreement with Brian May.
Okay, do you want to test it? But we're not even at that point yet. I've got a land contract that's sitting here that they're arguing supersedes all this stuff. If you want to testify and tell me why this lease agreement that you're talking about is legitimate, we can do.
No, wait. Where's your lawyer? Please. Why do you not have a lawyer? Do you not have a lawyer, sir? You're fucking dumb if you don't have a lawyer. You're dumb if you don't have you're fucking dumb. You're fucking dumb. You're fucking dumb. So far, they haven't gotten to the meat of the bone. You are saying that there was a lease contract. He admitted to there being a land contract that he had with his son. If he had a land contract with his son, and the son was supposed to be making payments on the land, the son has rights to the land. His son has rights to the house. Then the son has the right and can make a lease to another party to be renting that house unless specifically described in that land contract that he could not. You haven't even provided the date as far. You just talking about
Do that. Is that what you want to do first?
Why would I have to testify about a lease agreement that I'm agreed on a lease agreement with? I don't understand.
They're saying it's not a legitimate lease agreement.
Your Honor, I have a valid lease agreement.
Okay, I know what you want to argue about, but do you want to testify and tell me why this is a valid lease agreement or not?
No.
Mr.
He doesn't understand what's being asked of him. He is dumb. He this even if it's a you need a lawyer. You don't understand what is going on, sir. You need a lawyer. Even if it's a free lawyer. You need a lawyer, bro. They're asking you, do you want to testify on why you what is your evidence to say that this lease agreement is a valid lease agreement? You said, no, I don't want to testify for that. Fucking dumb. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're fucking dumb. He's too dumb to understand what he's doing. That is all. But at the end of the day, he was supposed to say yes. He was supposed to say, because during the time of this lease, Brian was under a land he's supposed to say these things, but he's too dumb to.
Bowser?
Well, Judge, if that's his position and that's the end of the proofs, I submit to the court that we are entitled to possession of that property, that Mr. Miller is a trespasser.
Objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Miller, you're kind of getting yourself in a jam here. I've got nothing else here.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a brief recess off the monitor. I'm gonna get the pleadings actually in order too. Give me just a minute here. All right.
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do.
The dude is shooting himself in the foot. He's fucking himself over, and it's bad because
And contract itself was never recorded.
He doesn't know.
And the deed
On the land contract that's been admitted is July 27, 2005. Is there language in here? Can you point me directly to it that says that the land can't be encumbered by purchaser? That being Brian May?
It was
place in there?
subparagraphs G and H, and I'll get that language here.
Okay. G and H.
Yes.
Okay.
No. No, that's not what we need.
Is there language in here? Can you point me directly to it that says that the land can't be encumbered by purchaser? That being Brian May?
It was
place in there?
subparagraphs G and H, and I'll.
Why? That doesn't make any sense. If you have a land contract with somebody, why would you then put in the contract that the property that's under the land contract with the buyer can't be encompassed by the buyer? That doesn't make any fucking sense. That doesn't make any fucking sense. You're gonna create a contract. That already shows you how fucking dumb they both are. You're gonna create a contract you're gonna create a land contract that says that the person that is trying to buy the land can't live on the land that they're trying to buy.
Get that language here.
Okay. G and H.
Yes.
Okay.
In paragraph G, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line.
He's too dumb to even fucking know what's going on.
That the purchaser and any other occupant, remove and put out.
I'm sorry, which paragraph are you on? What?
On G, the small G.
In section purchase agrees to.
That would be in section 3. I'm sorry, Judge.
Section 3?
3G.
3G, okay.
The third and fourth line of that paragraph.
Purchase seller. Conditions.
And also paragraph F. I said H, but it's really F.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe I'm a little confused. Who is the land contract with? Because like now at this moment, I'm thinking maybe the land contract is between corporation. No, it can't be. Because if you're gonna no, it had this it's not at all.
But G is the main one, Judge.
It's
Okay.
not at all. You don't even know.
And as noted in the memorandum that I filed, Judge, because the land contract itself was never recorded and the deeds the deeds take priority and the unrecorded interests really don't count. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a brief summary.
Okay. And so that's the second prong to this thing, basically.
Yes, Judge.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And so the only ones that were recorded are actually the quitclaim deed.
Yes, Judge. And Michigan being a recording title state.
And we're talking about, I see, here's the issue I got with it. So the ones that were recorded, I do have the one that's kind of after the fact of this pledged lease agreement is a quitclaim deed that's Brian May to the trustee dated August 14th, 2024. Is the other, what else has been recorded?
Prior to that, the two deeds for Mr. May is corporation to his trust.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so are they trying to say? Because they're not saying dates and time. They're not being very specific. They're just briefly commenting on these contracts that we can't see. But at this moment, it sounds like what he's trying to say is that there are certain dates and times where the house was owned by the corporation. Then there was a time the corporation was under a land contract with his son. Then it was returned back to the corporation and then returned into the trust. They're saying that it seems like what they're saying is that the time during the time in which he's claiming that there was a lease agreement from the son to him, he didn't have the right to do so because he didn't own or have contract of the house at that moment. The dad did.
Those are back in, if I remember right, I thought I saw 2000 plates on it. I don't know who highlighted it in blue. It's got some. May to get that admitted or not?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Before, it sounds like you didn't want to even do that, but if you want to do that, mind doing that. You want me to consider having it admitted as a lease agreement? You don't want me to even, well, I don't mind, Mr. Miller, if you don't want me to even look at this right now, it's not admitted, the lease agreement. You want me to consider having it admitted as an exhibit, I don't mind doing that, but
Yes, Your Honor.
if you want to do that, before, it sounds
Yeah,
like you didn't
before you were too dumb to understand what was being asked.
want to even do that, but do you want to try to get that admitted or not?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Belzer, just for the sake of the record, I got my hand, it says Michigan Residential Lease Agreements dated July 1st, 2024.
July 1st, 2024. Oh, this is way, July 2024. Yeah, okay.
From
Yeah,
landlord
yeah.
Brian May.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. See, that's what I was saying. They need to be specific with what they're talking about in these dates. They just been talking about this contract, that contract, that time. He gave a brief like timeline, but they never mentioned like what time he entered the league. So they're saying that okay, he's trying to say, oh yeah, you're off, buddy, you're done, you're cooked, you're cooked, you're done, buddy, you're you're done, you're done.
To tenant Taji Miller, and this is one that has created all these issues as well.
Yeah, you're done.
Mr. Miller, it's dated July 8th, 2024.
Mhm.
Is that your signature on this?
My signature is on the lease, Your Honor.
Okay. And what about Brian May?
Brian May's signature is also on the lease, Your Honor.
And I'm kind of, maybe I'm throwing you off too, Mr. Bowser, but do you have a copy of that lease agreement?
I have a copy, but according to what I've been advised by Brian May, there was other language in that lease that's not on the copy I have.
Okay. Oh, boy, we got two different versions of it now.
Wait. That is a curveball in this argument here. Let's hear that
By
again.
Brian May, there was
I'm throwing you off too, Mr. Bowser, but do you have a copy of that lease agreement?
I have a copy, but according to what I've been advised by Brian May, there was other language in that lease that's not on.
Fantastic. They just shot themselves in the foot just right there. Because they're trying to say here's why I say they just shot themselves in the foot. Because if this wasn't a real contract, if this wasn't an agreement that they had when it came to Mr. Miller living in the house, right? Brian, or whatever his name is,
I've been advised by Brian May, there was
Brian May would have no information, no idea of any version of any contract if Brian May didn't make or sign an agreement with a Mr. Miller for there to be even a different version of the contract. Does that make sense? Are y'all catching? Maybe let me slow it down for you, right? If Brian May and this family right here are trying to say he has no right into the house, right, and this contract is false, and they're saying, right, oh, everything that he's saying is a lie, how would the person saying that it's a lie know, right, of a different version of a contract that's made up if he didn't sign one or agree to something or even seen a contract or made the contract? You see what I'm getting at?
other language in that lease that's not on the copy I have.
Okay. Oh, boy, we
So
got
there's
two different
another
versions of it
version
now.
of a contract now. How do you have a different version of a contract if there isn't some type of a valid contract?
Okay. The one that I've got in my hand that was in the file, it's got like 39 paragraphs. Maybe we can start out there. Maybe that's
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it keeps going back and forth, back and forth. I'm thinking that these guys are winning. One more, I'm thinking he's got a point, but now it's just going
Yes,
back
that
and
is
forth.
correct, Judge. That's what I have.
okay.
Wow. Are they gonna bring Brian in as a
Is
witness at all?
Brian May with you? You said, is he going to
Yes, Your Honor.
testify at all? We might as well, as long as he's here, we might as well. One of you, Mr. Miller, are you going to testify at all or not?
Your Honor, I'm a Michigan residential tenant. I don't think it's required by law for me to testify.
Okay, you don't have to. Then, Mr. Belzer, do you want Brian May to testify with regard to this, I guess this leak?
You're shooting yourself in the foot. Why would you not? I mean, I mean, you don't have to, but I don't know.
Disagreement
I don't.
or any agreement?
Well, Judge, I mean, if there's no other testimony except what we presented, I don't see the need for that.
That's true. I guess that's true. Maybe I'm going overboard.
No, 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 no. You would need to have him testify because at the end of the day, sure, 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 he didn't have rights to the house, but your son, so far, signed a contract, at least a version of one, that gave him authority over the house. You got a big problem with your son here. There's someone staying in the house that he didn't own. And sure, there's a legal process in which you have to get him kicked out because your son never owned the house to begin with. But the Mr. Miller, went through the proper procedures in acquiring and renting a home. So if the contract is, at least a version of the contract is true, then why would I not then have to be suspected to believe the $100 and something $1,000 check that he made is also true? And if you want to get him kicked out, you need to reimburse him his fucking money.
On it, I guess.
It
Yeah, I
doesn't.
guess you're right. If it's not admitted, it's just not admitted. I guess I don't have a real agreement in front of me.
He just said he
It
would.
is admitted, Your Honor. You just admitted it.
No, I didn't. I didn't admit it yet. It has no foundation's been laid. Nothing. No.
Your Honor, you asked me did I want to admit it, and I agreed to it.
Yeah,
on
so
record.
that's why I'm trying to go through proofs for you to get it admitted, and you said you didn't want it and you didn't want to testify, so we're kind of past that. You just told me you didn't want to testify, so.
Exactly my point. You're shooting yourself in the foot. For something to be admitted as far as evidence, you have to then provide. There has to be okay. I'm my brain is going fast and my mouth ain't catching up. For something to be submitted as evidence, right? There has to be a witness to testify over the information for the document to be submitted as far as evidence. So it's that you're presenting and you're your own lawyer here, Mr. Miller. The lawyer, Mr. Miller, is saying they would like this document to be submitted as evidence, but without a witness or yeah, I guess the best way to say is a witness. Without a witness or a subject or a person to testify over the document to get it submitted as evidence, it can't be submitted. So you saying that you don't want to testify shoots yourself in the foot because now your document that you're trying to submit into evidence doesn't have someone to testify over the document. They can't submit it, dumbass. You shot yourself in the foot.
Mr. Belzer, let's go back to your complaint here. How has this been filed? Well, I guess, Mr. Belzer, if we want to, just want to give me final argument, I'll review the documents that have been.
I'm like 98% sure they're gonna vote. He's gonna judge against Mr. Miller.
In this matter, as far as my notes with regard to testimony, I do find that I'm going to go through documents first. There was admitted Exhibit 1, land contract dated July 27th, 2005. That land contract was between May Homes, and I'm abbreviating names, but May Homes as seller and Brian May as purchaser. There is some language in that land contract that says this property cannot be encumbered by the purchaser, and the purchaser being Brian May.
Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I'm. Let me look this up. Restricted or burden. I don't. Maybe I don't.
Portion in particular says in it's a paragraph, purchaser agrees, paragraph 2 of the land contract. And for the record's sake, this has not been recorded, which is another element in this, but was not recorded. But it does state under paragraph 2, subparagraph D, purchaser agrees to keep and maintain the land and the buildings in as good a condition as they are at the date hereof, and not commit waste, remove, demolish, or improve thereon, or otherwise diminish the value of seller's security without written consent of the seller. Throughout this contract, if there's any changes in the state of the security, that has to be in writing. There's nothing in writing that's been submitted today that there was written consent by the seller to somehow diminish the value given what Mr. Miller has testified to, this excessively long lease agreement that
He didn't testify to it. He didn't testify to it. So technically, you're mentioning a portion that's not even submitted in evidence.
Referred to, which has not been admitted, but he's stated that there was a lease agreement to, it's a long-term lease agreement for, I think it was 60 years. Yeah, July 1st, 2024 through allegedly ending July 1st, 2085 with monthly installments of $1,000. Homes gave written consent to have this property encumbered.
Okay, so the encumbered that they're talking about is vacant, but
Just thus reducing seller's security in that property. Should be noted there's also a quick dated both trust on that documents, and I find that there was no enforceable lease. July 8th, 2024, but Brian May did, whatever reason at that point, claimed any interest he may or may not have to the May trust on August 14th, 2024 on that document as well. But that was after the fact. If the lease stands, I find that there was no enforceable lease at this time. That property could not be encumbered by Brian May. And in fact, given the testimony I've heard as well, Brian May was in default on this land contract that was not recorded. Anyways, no action was taken from the being the familial relationship between Brian May and Jack May and the revocable trust that was established. No action was taken because, quite frankly, this property had already been deeded over, claimed over to the trust on February 13th, 2015. That's the only document that's been recorded. the credibility of that document stands beyond everything else that I've heard. And therefore, there's no lease agreement in its entirety. And Mr. Taji Miller is a holdover person on this property, not even a tenant, quite frankly, based upon all of the documentations and all the testimony that I did hear. Given the fact, though, that Mr. Miller has been on that property for a period of time, I will give him is he on that property now still?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, I'll give him the statutory 10-day period to move.
10 days.
We'll prepare the
He's
appropriate
got
orders.
10
Okay,
days.
okay, very good.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Good luck to everybody. Okay,
Thank you.
all right, you're welcome. Good luck, Mr. Miller.
10 days. Oh, wow. You shot yourself in the foot, bro. You did a terrible job. I don't know what the fuck you thought you was about to do. You fucked up so bad, bro. Fucked up so fucking bad. You don't even fucking dumbass. But hey, man, if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure you go ahead and destroy that like button. Make sure you go ahead and demolish that subscribe button. Make sure you go ahead and click that notification bell to be a part of the big bad gang. And make sure you go ahead and click that share button. Share it to your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your grandpa, and your grandma. Because you know we out here trying to find us a nice, sexy, big, juicy sugar. We're gonna be out here paying our motherfucking bill. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. We gonna make it, bro. We gonna make it. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.